Hello students, welcome to TrueNick Informatics. My name is Sakshi. I will be teaching you science for class 9, chapter 1, matter in our surrounding. So let's start with the chapter. Topics to be discussed today will be introduction of matter, properties of matter, different experiments, diffusion, three states of matter, properties of states of matter, change of state of matter, on heating, sublimation, factor affecting evaporation, two more states of matter. So these all we are going to discuss today. What is matter? Introduction of matter. Anything which occupies space. Okay, so you know anything which is occupying some kind of space, fine, and has a mass also is called matter. In other words, anything which has mass and volume is called matter. So you can say anything which is present around us has a mass and has a volume also. Either it's air or it's water or it's solid. So either it's solid, liquid or gas. Everything is matter. For example, I take example of my cell phone. My cell phone has a mass, right? And you can say it is occupying the space also. So is it matter? Yes, of course, it is matter. In fact, me and you all are matter. Example, chair, table, computer, mouse, keyboard, dog, cat, cow, pencil, tree, plant, building, mountain, river, etc. etc. Everything is matter around us. Fine. According to their physical and chemical properties, matter can be divided into three types: solid, liquid, and gases. Can you see this? Solid, liquid, and gases. And can you see this also? They are tightly packed, they are loosely packed, they are more loosely packed. Properties of matter. Matter is made up of small particles. It is made up of tiny, small particles. These particles are very small in size. These particles are very small. They are very tiny. These particles are moving constantly. They are moving constantly in zigzag motion. These particles have spaces between them. They have spaces between them. Particles of matter attract each other because of force of attraction. So you must be knowing that solid, this is a solid. Why? Because all the particles of this solid is attracting to each other. That's why it is a solid now, or else it would have scattered, right? So this is a solid because of attraction of particles with each other. Now we will talk about mixing potassium permanganate or copper sulfate with water. So there we are going to prove that metal are having small particles. So there is two type of nature of the matter. One is particulate nature and one is continuous nature. Particle nature, you can take example of salt and sugar and chalk powder, etc. And for continuous nature, you can take example of wood, plastic, etc. So we are going to prove this through an experiment that matter is made up of very small tiny particles. Put a small crystal of potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate is of pink color in a beaker filled with water. Instead of potassium permanganate, you can also use copper sulfate if you want, but this experiment we are dealing with potassium permanganate. Stir the solution. Now you are going to mix the solution. You will see the crystals of potassium permanganate dissolve in water and color of water becomes dark pink. So potassium permanganate itself is a pink color chemical, and when we are mixing it in the water, it will become pink color. Water will become of pink color. Let's take another beaker filled with water and put a small amount of dark pink solution in it. Okay. As you can see in the figure, this is potassium permanganate. Now I have taken few amount of water from this and added in this one. This was a normal water, and this is also becoming pink. Then I'm taking water from this and adding in this one. This is also becoming pink. Then to this one. So everything is becoming pink now. Fine. So this is they are showing that particles are so small that they can come to the last one also. And if you are doing more and more dilution like this will again become pink. We see that beaker in which only water is present becomes light pink, lighter than the previous solution. Repeat this activity again and again. You will find the same result, that water turns to be pink but lighter than the previous one. It means that even a small amount of solution contains lot of particles of potassium permanganate. So you can do this with your colors also. right? And you will see that the color is still coming at the end of the beaker, which is at the last. Or we can see that particles of potassium permanganate are too small that their small amounts can change the color of entire water, as we saw in this experiment. Similarly, if we do the same experiment with copper sulfate, then water becomes blue. Fine. So you can see this. This is potassium permanganate and this is copper sulfate. Potassium permanganate solution and copper sulfate solution. This experiment proved that the particles of the matter is very small. Now we will talk about diffusion. Okay, diffusion means something is getting diffused. Fine. So we will talk about it. The process of mixing of two substances due to Brownian movement of particle is called diffusion. You know, in Brownian movement, particles move in zigzag motion. As temperature increases, Brownian movement increases and diffusion becomes fast. Very small example I will give you. It's very easy to learn. Did you ever touch any hot vessel from your hand? After touching that hot vessel, what you do? You quickly remove your hand. Why? Because it's very hot. And your nerve cells say, don't touch it. It's hot. Right? Similarly, Brownian movement, particles diffusion also increase with the increase of temperature. Because with the increase of temperature, kinetic energy increases. So you know what is kinetic energy? Energy possessed due to the motion of an object is known as kinetic energy. A fan is moving, kinetic energy. Car is moving, kinetic energy. If in this world anything is moving, it has kinetic energy in it. Fine. So this diffusion becomes more quickly and more rapidly start taking place if there is a heat in the vessel, okay, or there is an increase in temperature. Fine. So as you know that if we have to cook the tea, we put the temperature increase, tea gets quickly cooked. If you keep it like that, nothing will happen for 2 hours also. Diffusion takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. It's a natural process and it takes place in solid, liquid and gas all. Fine. Now we will talk about three states of matter. First we will talk with solid. Solid has fixed volume and shape. As you can see that everything around us having when we talk about solid, it has a fixed shape and a fixed volume, right? In solid, particles are closely packed and they have very less spacing between them. In solid, particles only vibrate at their position and they have less kinetic energy. There is nothing to move. How you will have kinetic energy? Suppose if I say I will put 10 more things in your room. You already have a small room in which you have a bed, you have a chair, you have a table, you have everything. And still I'm putting one more bed over there. Will you be able to move? No. So this is how solids are. They are tightly packed. Kinetic energy will be less, right? Force of attraction between the particles will be more and intermolecular spaces will be less. Fine. Example: stone, wood, brick, ice, sugar, salt, coal, etc. Liquid. Liquid has a fixed volume but indefinite shape. Why? You put 1 liter of water in your bottle and put that same water in a mug. It will take the shape of the mug. So the shape is never fixed. In liquids, there is a weaker force of attraction and more spacing between the particles, as you already know this. In liquids, particles can move around and have high kinetic energy because they can move. Milk, water, petrol, kerosene, alcohol, oil, etc. are the examples of liquids. Fine. Gases. Gases have indefinite shape and volume. Particles of gases have very large spacing and very weak attraction between them. Particles of gases move around very easily and have high kinetic energy. Why they have high kinetic energy? Because they have a lot more of spaces. The particles can move wherever they want, right? That's why when an incense stick in Hindi we call it agarbatti, is being burned, we can smell it throughout the room because it will be there in air and the diffusion rate is more in the air. Fine. Example: air, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon monoxide, etc. Properties of states of matter. Filling the container. The force of attraction between tiny particles and gases is very less. You know, because they are loosely packed, they are far away from each other, attraction is less. Due to this, these particles can easily move away from each other and thus filling the container. In solid and liquid, attraction force is sufficient enough for not letting the particles move away from each other. Shape and volume. Shape due to less attraction force between particles of liquid and gases are move around. They will move around. Their shape is not permanent. Thus, they can take shape as per the container. So, as you know that if you will put the gas in the LPG cylinder, it will take the shape of LPG cylinder. If you are going to put in your room, it will take the shape of the room, right? Volume. Gases have so little attraction among particles that they can easily change spacing between them. So they can easily change their volume, and in liquids attraction force is large enough so that the spacing between the particles does not change easily. So liquid has a fixed volume, and same with solids. So they have a fixed volume. Fine. You cannot put 1 liter of water in 500 ml bottle. There is a fixed volume, right? So this is solid, this is liquid, this is gas. Fixed shape, fixed volume. Shape of the container it takes, free surface, fixed volume. Neither has fixed shape nor has fixed volume. As take the shape of the container, take the volume of the container. Solids can change shape on applying force. Liquid and gases do not need force to be applied for changing shape. Some solids have gas inside them, so they can be easily squeezed to change the shape. Some sponges have many small air-filled holes, which when squeezed them, air from these holes can come out, changing the sponge. Right? We can change it because there are air inside it. Compressibility and rigidity. Compressibility, to compress something. So you can compress what? Balloon. Balloon have what? Gas. Gas only has its compressibility. So compressibility is the spacing between particle of gases can be decreased. So gases have high compressibility, but spacing between particles of solid and liquid cannot be decreased. So they cannot be compressed. Application of compressed gas. Compressed helium gas is filled in air balloons. Compressed natural gas CNG is filled in cylinders, which are used in vehicles. Liquefied petroleum gas is filled in the cylinders for cooking. So they are used for cooking. The behavior of gases. So you can see these balloon is taking away the men also. So this is having the compressibility power and the balloons can fly. And this gases cylinder had gas inside it. And this is also having gas inside it. This is because of compressibility. Rigidity. It is the property of a substance to resist any deformation like change in shape. Being compressed, etc. Solids have high rigidity, liquids have less rigidity, and gases have no rigidity. Can I compress my phone? No. Can I do this? With the water, I can do this. They are not rigid. And with the gases, I can do like this. Not at all rigid, right? And with the liquids also, you can do like this. They are not rigid. Moving through. As we try to move through gases and liquids, their particles move away from our path, creating space for us. So we can move through them. Particles of solid cannot move away from our path, so we cannot move through them, right? Fluidity. Fluids are substances which can flow. Liquids and gases have fluidity, but solids do not have fluidity. You can put your hand like this. Liquid can flow. If you put water on the floor, what will happen? It will flow. So it has the power to flow. So this is fluidity. It is present in the fluid. And what are fluids? Liquid and gases are collectively known as fluids. Fine. Now we will talk about density. Density is equals to mass upon volume. Okay, volume will be more, density will be less. Okay, volume is less, density will be more. So it is directly proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the volume. Particles in solids are very closely packed, so they have high density. In gases, there is plenty of space between the particles due to it has low density. So can you see this iron rain is going inside the this water? Why? Because it has a less volume. And this ship is floating because it has a more volume. So here the density is more and here the density is less. Okay, so solid has pretty high density and liquid has this gases has the less density. Change of state of matter. Matters can be changed from one state to another state. A solid can be changed into liquid and liquid can be changed into gases. Most of the metals which are solid turn into liquid on heating and turn into vapor on further heating. The change of state of matter mainly depends upon two factors, temperature and pressure. Fine. So ice to water, water to water vapor. This is all interconversion of state of matter. Now we will study about interconversion of state of matter in detail. Solid is turning to liquid by the fusion. Liquid is turning to gas by vaporization. Gas is turning to solid by sublimation. Solid is turning to gas by sublimation. Okay. And this liquid is turning to gas by solidification and gas can be turned into liquid by condensation. So these are interconversion of state of matter. Fine. And you can see this is heat, this is heat, this is cool, this is cool. Fine. Latent heat. Latent heat is the heat supplied to a substance during the change of its heat state. Okay, so latent heat is also known as hidden heat. So this is a heat supplied to the substance during the change of its state. Now what is latent heat of fusion? Latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of solid in its melting point to liquid at same temperature. So latent heat of fusion is actually what it is present in the container and it is going to the contents of the container and not visible in the thermometer. For example, if I am heating something, like if I'm heating something, if I'm boiling something in water, suppose I'm boiling an egg in the water, right? So water reaches 100 degree, right? Still after that also I am putting that egg in the water. Now where is the temperature going? The temperature thermometer is already at 100. Boiling temperature is part. The temperature is going to the contents of the container. That will be not visible to the thermometer, but it will be present in the container. So this is known as latent heat of fusion because latent heat means hidden heat. Fine. Latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization, amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of liquid to its boiling point. Liquid at its boiling point to the gas at same temperature. Different liquid has different latent heat of vaporization. So similarly, if we want to convert 1 kg of liquid to the gas state, we need the more temperature. Though that temperature is not visible to us, that is latent heat of vaporization. Fine. Now we will talk about sublimation. Sublimation is a process in which a solid changes directly into gas. Okay, you can take example of camphor. In Hindi we call it kapoor. You can take example of naphthalene balls which we keep in the woolen clothes and it suddenly goes somewhere. How? Because they are converting the solid to the gas without coming to the liquid state. Fine. Generally, solid first changes into liquid and then to gas, but with a rise in temperature. But there are many substances which change into gas without changing into liquid state, and many other substances which change into solid from gas without changing into liquid. Such substances, when undergo sublimation, are known as sublime. Example: camphor, naphthalene balls, ammonium chloride, iodine, dry ice, etc. Here is an example. This is an experiment which you can do in the lab also. So this is a burner and this is a china dish in which there is ammonium chloride salt. And I'm putting an inverted funnel here. So this is please keep this in mind. You need to use a glass funnel. If you will use a plastic funnel, it will get melted. Okay. And there is a cotton plug. So what will happen? This will going to make a fumes and converting from solid to gas, and here when the gas cannot go anywhere, it will be collected here. So this is how you can separate the salt from ammonium chloride and salt. So what will happen here? Salt will be left and ammonium chloride will be here. This proves that ammonium chloride undergoes sublimation, right? Now what is evaporation? It is the process of a liquid changing into vapor before reaching its boiling point. So this is known as evaporation. Before reaching the boiling point, if something is converting into vapors, that means that is not vaporization, that is evaporation. You can see uh, your clothes getting dry. Fine. The If you are going to clean the floor, okay, and then the floor is also getting dry up quickly. Why? Because it is all because of evaporation. Even you can take example of sanitizer, which we are using nowadays a lot. We put a sanitizer in our hand and it goes. Why? Because it goes undergoes evaporation, and it gives a cooling sensation also. Factor affecting evaporation: temperature. Evaporation increase with increase in temperature and decrease with decrease in temperature. This mean rate of evaporation is directly proportional to the temperature. Temperature will be increased, evaporation will increase. Temperature will decrease, evaporation will decrease. Okay. With increase in temperature, the particles of liquid at surface get required kinetic energy to overcome the force of attraction and escape in air quickly. Hence, that increase in temperature increases the rate of evaporation. Fine. You can take example of your clothes getting dry up in the sun. So this is heat, evaporation will increase. Heat is not there, evaporation will decrease. Surface area. Evaporation increase with increase in surface area and decrease with the decrease in surface area. Very small example. Fold your wet clothes and keep it in the sun, and open a cloth and keep it in the sun. Which one will dry quickly? The one which is open, because of the surface area, right? After rains, roads and are dried up quickly than the potholes. This happens because of increase in surface area of water on roads. Water is spread over a large area. Because of that large area of water exposed to atmosphere, and evaporation of water take place quickly, resulting in quickly drying of the roads. While in potholes, less water surface is exposed to the air. Because of that less water area could come in contact with air and receive less temperature, resulting in delayed in evaporation. So as you can see in the surface area, if the surface area is large, then the evaporation will be more. But if the surface area is small, evaporation will be less. Wet clothes are spread up over the laundry line to get them dried up quickly. More surface area of water exposes to the air because of spreading of clothes. This speeds up the rate of evaporation and clothes are dried up quickly. On the other hand, if the wet clothes are left even in the sun without spreading, that I told you, if you fold it, they make more time to get dried because of less surface area exposed to air. Fine. Now, what is humidity? Humidity is the moisture content in the environment. Evaporation decreases with increase in humidity. Obviously, if the air is moist, air is not dry, then what will happen? The things will not get evaporated fast. And increase, for example, in the rainy season, in the rainy day, if you are keeping your clothes outside, or if you are keeping your clothes inside also to make it, after washing it, you want to get it dry. So it takes a lot of time to get dry, right? So increase with evaporation decreases with increase in humidity, and increase with decrease in humidity present in air. This means rate of evaporation is indirectly proportional to the humidity present in the air. So it's just opposite. Because of more water vapor present in the air, the water holding capacity of the atmosphere decreases. With decrease in the rate of evaporation, if air is dry, then it can hold more water. Okay, so this is but obvious. Wind. Evaporation increases with the increase in wind speed and decreases with the decrease in wind speed. This mean rate of evaporation is directly proportional to the speed of wind. If something is wet and you on the fan, it's dry up so quickly. This means the rate of evaporation is directly proportional to the speed of wind. Speedy wind propels away some of the particles of water, which speed up to the rate of evaporation. As you can see, with the wind, these all will get dry up so quickly. Now we will read about cooling effects of evaporation. Fine. So when we will talk about tea and saucer, you know, when you want to drink tea and you want it to get cold easily, you put it into the saucer. That is the bigger plate of the tea, which you keep it inside the cup, beneath the cup, sorry. So when tea is put in the saucer, evaporation is faster due to more surface area. Surface area will increase, rate of evaporation will increase. These cools tea faster and make it easier to drink. So this is one of the application of evaporation, and the another application is about the earthen pot, so that we will discuss now. Earthen pot. Earthen pot is also known as pitcher. In Hindi, we call it matka. The earthen pot has minute pores through which water sips out and droplets of water deposit on outer surface of pot. When this water evaporates, it takes latent heat from the pot and water inside cools down. So this is also one of the application of evaporation. If evaporation is a surface phenomena, it takes heat from the surrounding and give us a cooling sensation. Fine. Two states of matter. Two more states of matter was discovered. One was Bose-Einstein condensate. In short, we can call it BEC. In 1920, Indian scientist Satyendra Bose did some calculation based on which Albert Einstein predicted that a new state of matter should exist. This new state was named as Bose-Einstein condensate. In 2001, Cornell, Carity and Biermann of USA received Nobel Prize for actually making this state in lab. BEC is made by cooling a gas of very low temperature to super low temperature. So this is how Bose-Einstein condensate look. The next is plasma. Plasma is found in some glowing substances like sun, stars, fluorescent tube, neon lights, etc. Plasma consists of super excited ionized particles of gases. For example, sun is a plasma. It has a helium gas and neon gas, neon lights or neon gas. These excited ionized particles glow with different color based on the gas present in them. In stars and sun, plasma is formed because of nuclear fusion in stars. In neon lights and fluorescent tube, it is formed due to electricity. Plasma does not have a definite shape or a definite volume unless enclosed in a container. Plasma may be defined as an electrically neutral medium of positive and negative particles. Okay, so plasma example is sun, stars, etc. So this is like high temperature is there. Okay, and they do not have a definite volume unless it is there in a container, and it do not have a definite shape. So this is how they are little bit similar to the gases. Okay, examples: lightning, sun, nebula, neon lights, all are the examples of plasma. That's all. I hope you have understood the lecture entirely, completely, and enjoyed it also. Thank you.